Sanje Jodan Zoji Jono Lai Shanja Pada Dana Gyaltsen Dagui Shishi Jebe Tonam Je Rola Pencha Sanje Rabarish Sanje Jodan Zoji Jono Lai Shanja Pada Dana Gyaltsen Dagui Shishi Jebe Tonam Je Nola Benja Sanjin Reba Jo Sanje Judon Zoji Jonola Shanja Bada Dana Jazam Dagi Chishi Jebe Zonam Je Nola Benja Sanjin Reba Jo. Good evening again. Good evening, Harvard. Good evening, Karen. Good evening, Mark. Good evening, Bing. Good evening, Margaret. Good evening, Deborah. Good evening, Bob. Good evening, Geshe Tenley. Good evening, Jennifer. Good evening, Asa. Good evening, Tamchu. Good evening, Elena. Good. How are you guys? Do you have any complaints?
Pretty good. This politics are still very upsetting, so it's good practice, I think.
Yeah, you don't looking for that, okay? I always say, anything you upset, don't looking that way. Okay? Like, you know, the caca. You don't like the smell the caca, right? I'm serious, yeah. This is if you have to do practice, okay? If you don't like the caca smell, then don't smell that. Therefore, anything makes upset you, better to don't looking that way. If you have some choice, no. If you can, you know, you're like if you have choice. Therefore, you know, the great masters Shantideva say, if it is fixable, nothing to worry. If nothing fixable, nothing to worry. Therefore, you know, anyway, I always say, you know, if we're looking for some false or negative actions, then we always see negative things, false. Then we have always to just upset. Therefore, like, you know, the schools, the birds, they don't do anything business for us. Whatever going on with us, they get some food. If they get some stealing some food from us, walking around, then just they eat. Just I think this is a good to smart way. Anything to upset you, just because we cannot fix it. We cannot live, you know, like in a very heavy things, very heavy. You cannot lift. What's a lift, right? You cannot lift. You try. You just get your all energy there. They just whatever you can lift, just this one. Just take that. Just holding then. Just go home. Say that. Okay. Anyway, this is it. There, you know. Therefore, now the best way is Buddhism. Like in the world is upside down to everywhere. This is, you know, karma, as we religious people, Buddhism. We just pray to people's mind to change. you know, that all the people have, everyone has a very strong ego. They don't want to give up their own idea, their own view. Therefore, this is a problem. This is the nature, the quality of the ignorance. Okay. Anyway, like that, we do little meditation. Okay. Can you do meditation like 20 minutes without moving? Anyway, the first we do little meditation to bring our mind with us. Usually, I think our talk always you hear many times, but you will hit many times again. When you meditation, just like everyone just you get very serious. You looking me, you mind focus me. Then you don't really other things doesn't come your mind. You look at me one hand, you listen something else, then you think the others come. If you only look at me, then you think you others doing something, learn something, then you all other things come. Therefore, meditation means concentration any object. This is very technical. It's very important. I think we have everyone. We are not very good meditation. We say, try to meditation. You try to meditation. Some thoughts come in, then it's it's terrible. I'm not good meditation. Then try again. Then maybe you have some itching here. This happens, right? Then or maybe I didn't close my window, or maybe I didn't lock my door. Things coming, right? Because it shows we are not very focused the object good meditation. Therefore, when you meditation, maybe anyway, even you try meditation, something, anything's coming, not try to stop. Just recognize that. Recognize, If you see here, okay, the mind telling, I'm thinking, you're like you just follow your mind, wherever they go. The mind will tired, they doesn't go to limit, they will limit. Therefore, short, not too long, many times. There's how to meditation, okay? Therefore, first to learn meditation, this is the best way to meditation right now because no one's bothering you, just you're at your home. We do meditation for the mindfulness, for the feeling. I think I really did before you talk. First, just try to like this. Just you're at the home, right? You can do that. Right now I'm talking, then maybe you don't feel. When we stop meditation, just try to feel this few seconds, then what feeling you have, then also mindful that, then touch two fingers also, what different feeling. You put that little bit of cold feeling like that. Then you have to feel, like your head, your face, your head, then your back here, and also your shoulders, and your chest. You can set your back. Just try to follow one by one. What any kind of feelings, just recognize that. Okay. This we do meditation like maybe 2 minutes. 2 minutes you have to find go all them. Okay, because it keeps your mind busy with that. Okay. I'll start. Okay. Okay. How's it? Do you follow that? Or your mind, some other thoughts come in your mind? How's Margaret? If other thoughts come, if you're very focused, then the other thought doesn't have place to come. Well, if some other thoughts come, it shows we are not very focused, okay? Now we try to, you study the ground path. In order to path, we need to the renunciation, right? Then in order to renunciation, for what? We need to understand perfect human rebirth, then dead impermanent, then also, how you say, the faults or sufferings of the samsara. Then we have to wish to free from samsara. And the day or night, when you are very strong that thought or the feeling, then you are reach the renunciation. When you reach the renunciation, you are on the path. You are not anymore to like the regular person. You are the path, okay? You got it? Do you have to explain? You don't have to explain, Right now, I'm the perfect human rebirth. This is birth time. You think about that. Then, but it's no longer. It was impermanent, impermanent. Then also there's not much time. Also, the suffering of the samsara always, suffering. Therefore, I want to free from the suffering to that very strong thought. It's called renunciation, okay? This we do meditation like 5 minutes, okay? Just go to step by step, okay? First, perfect rebirth, then impermanent, then, a little bit recognize for suffering of the samsara, then to wish to very strong to free from that, okay? Okay, now we start. Okay. Now do you have the renunciation? You already reached the path? Okay. The mind thinking for the free from the samsara, very strong. This is like renunciation, right? Oh yeah. 다 되니까 딱 가서 민주제나 가서 초람을 슈트하러 와.
So once you have generated the renunciation, then you enter into the path, the first path, the path of accumulation.
안 가서 초람 그 내거든 가서 뜻 다음에 듣고 온 거다. 다음에.
So now during the path of accumulation, we're going to meditate a little bit on selflessness, okay?
대도 소소소 치다다 빼나 소소게 빼나. 근데 폼볼라 때 풍만도 폼볼라 때는 가서 따고 열어봤어. 빼나 다지 폼보지 대라 아니 다 미드도 때 제니퍼 마크 데브라스 고 따고 열어봤어.
So the self is designated, to the aggregate, right? Yeah, so by depending on the aggregate, you designate it such and such, like designate it as Deborah, as Margaret, and so forth, right?
제타가 아니 딘디가 아니 다지 폼보다 아니 다시 가자니가 아니 다 라자오지 저기 말까지.
And so both the basis of the designation, the aggregate, and the person who is designated as such and such, they both doesn't exist self-sufficiently or substantially.
제가 도도 섬들한테 간제 소소소 변했다 데브라이나 제니퍼이나 마르게리나 아니 보피나 세나 아니 팀미디 간제 다 포멀한데 또베 따섬제래 누 섬베틴데 아니 롤 샤토나 또 롤 샤고 그랬어.
So this name that's given to your aggregate, right, such as Deborah, Margaret, Bob, Jen, and so forth. So that name, is just merely, it's merely designated, to the aggregate. So that's what you have to have the thought in your mind, thinking that this is a mere designation.
오다 두 전설은 나탄들이 대군이 바제다 또베다도 마토문도 대리가 셈라들이 당군이 사만은지도 레문도 삼 파트나도 녀금문도 삼 대리 삼소지 내신다고 냐나 아니 다 다음에 대지도 또 봐서 바지랍쇼 그랬어. 대지나 아니 좀다 안에 단단가도 초론 받지 단단가도 초론 받쳐야 되었다지. 근데 제가 대리 고안이나 다 초론 받쳐서 말했어.
So that understanding, of the person or the self as being merely designated as such and such by one's mind or conception, and there is no the self, or the basis on which the self is designated exists self-sufficiently or substantially. Yeah. So when you think about that, and then then you come to realize it. So when you think that, and then you come to realize that there's nothing existing self-sufficient or substantially. None of those things. The basis of the designation and the designated. The self itself doesn't exist self-sufficient. When you realize that, that's understanding the selflessness in the manner of meaning generality. And so then that time you have entered into the path of preparation.
야만나 삼자 야만나 폼보라 라 말레베게 딱 나세데 아니 녀면도 삼삼도 주나야 바진되고 서로 폼보라 라 말레.
And also if you can think that there is no self that can be found that is not imputed on the aggregate.
Okay, that some 담보 삼보지다. 근데 삼보지다네 근데 어디에 문도 섬서 전화 안에 다음에 대시도 거니 봐서 다 요런 바찬으로 그래서.
So when you think like that, so you think for some time that there's no such kind of self that can be found which is not designated or imputed on the aggregate. And so when you think like that, then that time you have realized the selflessness. That time you have realized selflessness in the manner of meaning generality.
대군이 다리 딱 까망아 곰거다. 단 이 까망아는 까마숨 이셈 줄 용어인데 딱 까망아 섬 다시 와서
Now we're going to think that, okay, for about 5 minutes.
방보지나서 봉보지 체 소소지 체. 근데 아니 까마 니스지 체지. 근데 다 아니 봉보라 마템베게 다 가지 문두 삼베 삼도 다랑 갈샤네 되고다.
And so first you do the analytical meditation and analyzing or searching about the self. Is there a self that can be found that is not dependent on the aggregate? Yeah. And then upon applying all the reasons with an analytical meditation, then when you come to the conclusion, there's no such kind of self that can exist, without depending on the aggregate. Yeah? So when you come to that conclusion, then you kind of hold your mind, to that. So first 2 minutes, do the analytical meditation. Searching for that, or trying to find out whether there is such kind of self or not. And if there's no such kind of self, when you kind of come to find out there's no such self, then for the next 3 minutes, just focus on that thought. Then do the stabilized meditation.
Okay, we start now, okay?
No.
다 디지털 땅도 사람 찍던 거다. 다 변나 단단가도 변나 칸바나라 그냥 잘라지 변나 따가는 그냥 잘라대 칸바나라 요래 섬도 줘요래. 다 칸바 고치나 잘라도 땅 무슨 통거려 봤어. 오다 텔라페나 똥바니 무슨 담에 무슨 도고서 된대가 초반도 다 찬스 된대지 섬도 당쇼 왔어.
So now think like this again. So in the manner of meaning generality, you are imagining the thing like your thing in your house, in your kitchen. You can think about an object in your kitchen, and so that's the meaning in the manner of meaning generality. You're just imagining the thing in your mind, and then later you go into the kitchen, you open the door, you go into the kitchen, and you see the object directly with your eyes. So that's realizing emptiness directly, or selflessness directly. So now we're going to think like that for a little while, okay? So that's the example, right? So now what we're watching at is the I, the self. And so now you're seeing the self, the selflessness in the manner of meaning generality. And then when you see it directly, just like you see the object with your bare eyes, and then just like that, when you see the selflessness, then you have realized the selflessness directly, and then you have entered into the path of seeing.
Okay. Yeah, we can do a few minutes, okay? 당가도 미게 담보 연주 제반에 단 돌아 말에 방가도 딱 곰제 계셔래 곰도네로 오고다.
So we sort of meditated from entering into the path through generating renunciation and all the way up to realizing the selflessness or emptiness directly, up to path of seeing.
제가 당가도 변나 다든게 빼차차. 뭐 수수 컴베나래 다 컴베나 싸마모 속을 야샤 마자도 되는다. 돌아보까지나 만보체 야한테 바 컴바 찍나로네 고놈버서로 컴바 싸마소치 몸부체래. 뒤손을 보고 다 내가 마보였어. 고놈 가가.
So now once you get into the path of seeing, so just like I said, when you open the door, and then you see the things directly. Now you see that, there's so many faults, so many dirts or trashes, dust around. Now you're sweeping and cleaning everything. And then you go to the next room, which is like going to the path of meditation. And then you do there more cleanings, sweepings and dusting, like that. To get rid of all those dirts and faults, and so that's like the job you do a lot of job you have to do on the path of seeing and path of meditation.
뭐야 다들 빼내버려 빼잖아 때 고대하러 운동해줘.
So that's the example. I don't know if is it a little bit easier to understand with the example.
아니 다 캄바 차서 점마서다한테 상제다.
So once you have cleaned all the rooms, then you are enlightened.
근데 나는 괜히 가가 점마 매고 찾아와.
Yeah, so you have cleaned all the dirts in your mind, all the obscurations, delusions, and now you are fully enlightened.
오케이, 다 되지. 근데 녀서도 또 녀서 마도 세대 단데 빼샤인 봐. 그냥 가서 캄바 고체매와나 캄바 나는데 요래 섬섬들래 답변나 담보 잘라지. 그냥 가서 지 총관으로 오지. 총관나 잘라는데 요래. 잘라는데 총관나 요래 삼네 지금 총관 말레베 가는 거 잘라던데 요절에 삼네 소소 삼네 요라. 대라 대지도 도세로. 다 총관나 야로네 잘라는 것이 이거 도도 안에 것을 도세 이거. 어때 빼대도 집안으로 온 거다.
So just like like about realizing directly or not realizing directly, the difference, is just like I mentioned. When you imagine objects in your mind, that's the realizing in the manner of reality. And then when you go to the place, and then actually you see, the actual thing. So like for example, when you go to a shop, when you think about buying something, like a pot. In going to the supermarket or going to the store and buying a pot, and you're imagining what kind of pot you want to buy. So you have the picture of that pot. That's realizing the pot in the manner of reality. And then later you go to the store and then you actually see the pot there, and that's the realizing the pot or seeing the pot directly.
Okay. Oh yeah, that is what you. 근데 다 안도 듣는데 다 돈놈 셔다. 단 돈놈라 안에 년티진 돈라 라자진 돈놈 대진 돈놈 섬이와.
And so like that's kind of clear now, right? So that way, you reach up to, when you come to see it directly, then you have reached the path of seeing. So the path of seeing, there are three path of seeing: path of seeing of the healers, path of seeing of soul realizers, and path of seeing of the Mahayana.
어디지? 다 안에 가서 년티 돈랑 가도 시작이 봐.
So we already talked about the healer's path of seeing, right?
어제 다 아니 라자가 돈놈도 대다 링라세 가서 빼자면 돼.
And then for the path of seeing of the soul realizers, it says the reasoning can be applied to the soul realizers.
오케이. 다 년티 돈놈 가서 빠져 가래 강사가 나도 그따위 봐.
So during the healer's path of seeing, what is the main object of abandonment?
The conception of a self of persons.
The accord. It says accord, right? The accord grasping the self of person.
Yeah.
오케이. 다 라자 가래 라자.
What about the soul realizers?
Go ahead, Deborah.
No, I don't hear. Deborah, we don't hear you.
You're muted. You're not muted, but we can't hear you.
Oh, because
Oh, okay, now we can hear you. Now we can hear you.
take this off.
No, it's good. We can hear. Here.
The non-duality of self and object. Acquired non-duality of self and object.
Okay, 你懂了什么？
你懂是？
你懂个大事，你懂他可罗，你懂个大事可罗。
你懂吗？是。
可罗。zushiro 天的怎么个大
？What did you say, Deborah?
我一个的。
The concept of self and object being non-dual.
No.
No.
Non-dual is the thing to realize. Non-duality is the thing to realize.
All right, self and object being dual, being separate, different. Okay.
So non-duality is the thing to realize.
Right.
The last thing add thing as a dual, right? Seeing the object and the subject as
separate.
As being two separate substances.
Okay, yeah.
Good. They say the form and the concept grasping at the form. Seeing those two as
as being separate or different substances.
다들 디가나 셴바시요 다들. 다들 디가나 강사다도 그다도 방고레스. 또 방제 또 아니 니 가로 죽셔된도 그다지 디가나야 다도 그다도 방고레스.
So anyway, so the duality, right? So the grasping at the duality, is the main object of abandonment. But on top of that, also grasping at the self of the person has to be abandoned also.
Okay. 어데지. 다들 대 야오쳐서 다 텔라 가송도 뭐뭐요 와시다. 근달라 가로 동파 가로 야드치 중이치지 와이마.
So we talked about all the abandonments, of the path of seeing, right? Like how many? 100 and how many in the path of seeing?
112, 108.
112 acquired, and 100, and then 108 acquired. Yeah, the knowledge of durations. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That is okay. 다 간다를 다 빼서나 간제 칸바네 주사나 칸바나 괜히 다 간제만이 룩샤 대소는 오래다 간제 돈람 가서 빠거다 빠거들어.
So it's like, when you go into a house, into a room, you find all these trashes around, and now you're going to go and clean up all that things, from your room.
Okay. 되지. 다 가상간도 안에 되는 시바제다 안에 가로 저바제다 시바제다 시셔야 돼. 임바스.
So last time we were talking about the 8 forbearances and 8 knowledges, right?
Yeah. 다 대서 시다 고대오래 빼나 빼차샤와야나 로찌인 바치 고 내가 말하고 쟤도 그 미카가 따지줘래도
Logic?
로찌인 바치로 시바치인 바치.
So this is quite easy to understand. This is the one mind, and it functions in 2 different ways. That's why it's given 2 different names.
빼나 보모지 아마지 되는 갈로다
Gegenche.
개겐지 아니 일단 찌바지 근데 나 미치게 되지가나 그 찌자오지나 그 찌바 보모에 무전에 보모 보고 요즘에 아마 아니 지고 그 내가 전에 그 미카가 다음에 쟤네 찌바로 뒤손을 버렸어.
It's just like a woman, given a name as a daughter, as a mother, as a teacher, and as a accountant, like that. So because of doing the accountings, therefore you're called accountant. Because you are teaching, therefore you're called teacher. Because you are a mother, you have children, therefore you're called mother. Because you have a mother, therefore you are a daughter, and like that. So it's the same person but given different names.
Okay, 고대오라도.
For different functions, yeah.
Okay?
Easy to understand, right?
Oh yeah. 다들 단 돈함 대해서 아니 다 아니 가로 라자라 아니 다 돈함 나게 링데레스 다고 링데 시에면 거지 다 딩아도 다 대신시야 다스.
And so then it says, talking about the social realizers, it says just, follow the same example, or reasoning can be applied to social realizers, right? Like that. So now we're going to talk about the Mahayana.
아니 대신제 dem방에도 대신 돌아갔더니 이와 시에서는
And so it says the clear realization of the truth of the Mahayana, is the definition of the Mahayana path of seeing. And this is the division have been already explained.
Okay.
You know the divisions already.
Okay. Who would like to say? Yeah. Yeah, Jennifer.
The exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, and then neither.
돈하고 ten이 차단시 잘랐다. 돈하고 ten이 차단시 잘랐다. 돈하고 ten이 차단시 잘랐다.
돈하고 ten이 차단? 라우선, 네 말을 해. 대중은 내 맘으로도
내 맘은 또 맞추면 돼. 네 여러.
라.
네 여러. 이니 돌아녀 여지 가로.
아니.
돈하고 ten이 가로.
돈함 ten이도 다 가지. 냐도 돈함 ten이도 강라샤도.
랑은 데베치 그랑은 데베치 니한테지 고노 마치 거 니디 덴방에도 니한테지 돌아가 테니 텔라 니한테지 돌아녀 여지 제다지. 이 라이트 집에다가 다른 통화식으로 와.
그래. 대망어도 사람을 쓰는 사람을.
다 된다고 해서 와.
그래.
뭐야? 단 통화 쓰니. 단 통화 이와자 랍송.
So you know, like Jennifer said about the division, you know, of the path of seeing, right?
단 대진 통화 냠자지 제답이 있으면 단 냠자시 가르자. 대진 통화 냠자시 가르자.
진이.
이에 단 대진이라고 하잖아.
So there's the meditative equipoise, right? Exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, the exalted wisdom of the subsequent attainment, and meditative equipoise, the exalted wisdom, neither of those two. So what would be the example? Can you give an analogy, you know, of the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise of the Mahayana path of seeing?
Okay. Deborah, you want to try?
Example.
Example would be lack of selfless of phenomena.
Okay.
저기다네.
지담에게 돈이 돌아. 니디 돌아 바체 멜로. 니디 돌아 냠자이시. 니디 돌아 남불어서 제와에 들어가 있잖아. 니디 돌아 냠자이시. 즉 니디 돌아 바체 멜라고 니 돌아로 가로 내 고노로 돌아로. 대제로. 대제 돌아 바체 멜라고 즉 대제 돌아 냠자이시 니 대제 돌아 남불어서 제와에 있잖아. 들어가 있잖아.
숨을 샤워, 니를 샤워.
거기자 아무 일이잖아. 거기자.
네.
니네 돌아 이제 돌아 뭐나 니네 돌아 냠자이시도
남돌랍니다.
남불이 제와 그래람나.
So what's the difference between the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise of the Mahayana path of seeing and the uninterpreted path of the Mahayana path of seeing?
Okay.
You get Deborah?
What's the difference?
대니 몇 가세요.
Or do you know about that possibilities, right? How many possibilities are there among these two?
So you could have exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, and exalted wisdom of uninterrupted path would be one, and exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise and exalted wisdom of thoroughly liberated path, that's two. I think there's four then.
Okay.
Oh,
Who's there for? Yeah, go ahead. Hey, Mark, where are you? Are you turned on the phone? You sleeping there?
I'm here.
Yeah. How many possibilities? Yeah, go ahead.
I have no clue, to be honest.
It's okay.
That's honest.
That's good.
I say three.
Three.
Okay,
Okay.
Deborah said, Jennifer said 30. Okay. Bob? No idea? Okay, how about Deborah?
I think I'll change to three.
Three.
Okay. Margaret, do you have any idea? Really? Okay. Asa, you have any idea?
I think when divided, there are three. I think just from reading. See? Is that right?
Okay, look like that.
Well, we're talking about the possibility. So, do you know? 무슨 무시자 대셔잖아.
Yeah, 대셔도.
네.
Okay. 보모다 아마지 버는 못 가세요. 보모다.
So let's go with the simple one first, okay?
Okay. 보모다 아마지.
Woman.
Yeah, woman and
a mother, right? Woman and a mother. So when we say how many possibilities are there, right? So when we're talking about the possibilities of a mother and a woman, something that is both mother and woman, something that is just a mother and not a woman, or something that is just a woman and not a mother, and something that is neither. Both can be both, can be neither, and it can be one but not the other, and can be other and not the one.
This is easy one, right?
That's what we call the possibility, right? So in the amada pomuni kata amada kimini ko keshe ra.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the mother and a woman, right? If it's a mother, is it necessary to be a woman?
Yes.
Yeah, right? So therefore, there is no possibility of being a woman but not a mother. Sorry, there's no possibility of being a woman, being a mother and not a woman, right?
Right.
So if it is a mother, has to be a woman, right? So there's no possibility of being a woman. I mean, being a mother but not a woman. So is there a possibility of being a woman but not a mother?
Yes.
Yes. So not every woman is a mother, right? So there is a possibility of being a woman but not a mother. There's no possibility of being a mother but not a woman, right? So therefore, if it's a mother, has to be a woman. It's necessarily a woman, right? And then there can be both mother and a woman, right? You know, for example, Deborah is mother and a woman, both, right? And you know, and then there's a neither. The neither can be neither is very easy, right? A pot or pillar. Pillar is neither a woman nor mother. So like that. So there's a three possibility only in there. What possibility is missing? A possibility of being a mother but not a woman is missing. So usually there's only 3 or 4 possibilities. So in this case, there will be only, you know, only 3 possibilities like that. So that's what we mean by possibility, right? So like that.
Everyone got it, that idea?
Of, you know, how many possibilities are there when we say how many possibilities are there in the, you know, the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise and uninterrupted path, you know, of the path of seeing, like that.
Everyone got it? It's easy, right? Mark, do you got that? Mark, do you got that?
Yeah, that I got.
Oh, good. Exactly the same to that. 다 대전 돌아 냠자의 시에나 ngani karo. 받침으로 넘어가로.
넘들랑, 너를 받침을
제가 대전 돌아 냠자의 시에나 받침으로 이거 그래.
So now there's between this meditative equipoise, exalted wisdom, meditative equipoise, and uninterrupted path or the path of seeing, right? So they both are talking about that. So if it is a meditative equipoise, exalted wisdom, meditative equipoise of path of seeing, is it necessary to be uninterrupted path of the path of seeing?
No.
Okay, give me example.
The liberated path, or the path.
Good job.
Yes. So the
Yes.
liberated path of seeing is meditative equipoise, a path of seeing, but it's not uninterrupted path or the path of seeing, right?
Everyone got that? Okay. Everyone got? Bob, you got it? Margaret, do you got it? Good. Mark, do you got it?
What do you mean not interrupted? What does that mean?
That's the division. That's the one kind of meditative equipoise.
So
there are three kind of meditative equipoise. The meditative equipoise that is uninterrupted path, and that is path of release, and that is neither of those two.
Okay, 다 대치랍네. Okay, hold on. 다 되지. 다 대전 아니 대전 돌아 받침 만화에나 냠자시 고르와. 대전 냠자시 고르와.
So if it is uninterrupted path, is it necessary to be meditative equipoise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. 아니 다 이제 인기지도 와.
So is there something that is both of them, uninterrupted path and meditative equipoise?
Yes.
Give example, Deborah. Now you mute yourself.
Oh.
You mute again. Just push it one time.
Yeah, the uninterrupted path, the path of seeing.
Okay. 다들 가르 이자로 와.
So something that is both uninterrupted path of the path of seeing and meditative equipoise to the path of seeing.
The same. They're both.
Yeah. So what's the example? Example of something. Example of both uninterrupted path of the path of seeing and meditative equipoise of the path of seeing.
Well, when someone first enters the path of seeing, that would be the uninterrupted path of path of seeing.
당부 가서 토론 나슈든 당부 토론 쉬울 거 없으디 아니야 발전이란 다음 아니야 냠샤 진지하래서.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, Jennifer, is not.
That's an example?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an example. Yeah.
Well, couldn't you say like that the Dharma forbearance would be an example?
Yeah, you can say that, but what Deborah said was correct, right?
What did you say, Deborah? You said when someone first enters the.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's correct.
Yeah, the first moment.
First one.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Sorry.
You can also simply say the uninterrupted path itself.
Right.
Uninterrupted path of the path of seeing itself is uninterrupted path of the path of seeing and also meditative equipoise. Or you can say the uninterrupted path, within the continuum of a Deborah. So that is the uninterrupted path and also meditative equipoise. You can say like that, so simple to make it simple. But the Dharma forbearance is good, yeah.
Okay.
And so there's how many possibilities are there? Only 3, right?
3.
Only
3.
3. So
Yeah.
neither of those 2, easy, right?
Give example.
Are you still on the path if it's neither of those?
Yeah. So neither uninterrupted path or path of seeing, nor meditative equipoise or path of seeing.
Yeah, so then you'd still be considered to be on the path, even though it's neither.
Yeah.
Okay.
So neither can be anything. Yeah. So to make it real close, you can say, what's that? Subsequent attainment.
Entertainment. It could be anything.
Right.
I would say.
Or
Yeah,
could be
anything.
Could be your
Yeah.
head.
Okay.
White hair on your hair.
So my glass. Okay.
Oh.
Glasses.
저도 그때는 돈을 고던 돈을 고가라 돈을 담보 돈을 쉬는 게 다시만 차려 그랬어. 가디나.
Yeah, so like Deborah said, first when you achieve the path of seeing, the first path you enter into the path of seeing is the uninterrupted path.
근데 대라 아닌 돈을 냠자시 납주를 받지만 잡죠. 이제 차려 그랬어.
So that is uninterrupted path and uninterrupted path of the path of seeing and meditative equipoise of path of seeing.
다 오는 돈을 동보 가디 치고서는 당연히 빼자. 막 간반한데 나가도 간비 난거 잘라쳐도 딱 동거로 와. 통관은 그러나 통관 만들어 갈는 돈은 열에 삼바지. 나는 되다 딱 동거로 와. 대나지. 아니 배나 돈이 바나 다음에나 지금 담보들을 인사를 해서 단데 내 렌드 삼고 타치바지 무슨 돈을 갈라 아니 kon 돈을 주는 그래서.
So then when you first enter into the when do you first enter into the mind and path of seeing? It's just like I mentioned about the example of the thing that you're going to buy in a store. You have a picture of that thing that you're going to buy, and that's seeing that thing in the manner, meaning, generality. And then you go to the store, and then you see it exactly there, with your bare eyes. You see it directly. So that's realizing emptiness, and that's like seeing the object or the pot directly. And so when you realize emptiness, when you think about emptiness, and then you come and say, oh, like this, it must be like this, must be like that. And then after seeing that, thinking about that for long, then you say, oh, yes, it's like that. When you come to that, then you have realized it directly, and that time you enter into the minor path of seeing.
뭐야? 다 대라 받지만 하려 그래.
And then the first part, that's first, part of this path of seeing is called the uninterrupted path.
대다다 안에 다 나한테 끝나고 인이 차대 그러다.
And that's the actual antidote, to the acquired delusion or or grasping at the true existence.
오케이, 마귀 가르나? Are you there? Hello? Okay. 다 되네 아니 되네 다 고냠자 버려. 아니 냠자데 주 가디 라나 아니 고 남로나 차서 버렸어. 가디 라나 남로나 차. 다 대치나 찌지나 고때 로마모 거스.
말은
찌지나. 아,
남달라 말아.
라 바체만 그런 남로라. 아니 담 바체만 틀어나 남로나 차노라.
그래 발전 매담다 랑 말아 가서다. 누구 땐사네.
다 간지 어떻게 님보다는 직지나 고 다왕 거리 님만 거리 지까지 대디 님모데 가디 빠나 고 남로나 차.
No.
고 냠바 샤가 빠노.
So then you are applying the antidote, the actual antidote, to the delusion, right? So the actual antidote, unto the delusion, that application can take long time. You might have to apply it for a long time, for months and years like that, or decades. So after doing that, then when you have abandoned it, the moment you abandon it, then you achieve the path of release.
배 대한 빼져도 간반에 쌈바서는 간반에 내려 땅에서 간반에 파 되게 말아 왔어. 간반에 저 여유가 가지고 쌈바 사는 거로 와.
So like you're in the house, you're starting to do cleaning, right? You started cleaning can take, a couple of minutes, a couple of hours. And then after you have finished cleaning, then, you now have the house is very clean. You're still inside the house. You have to clean the house while you're in the house. Right? If you're not inside the house, you can't clean clean inside the house. So you have to clean the house while being inside the house. And then once you have finished cleaning, then, you say, oh, now it's all clean. So you're still in the house. And at that time, it's like a path of release. So you have abandoned the delusions.
Okay.
The acquired delusion, right?
This we got a very good example. For 다 되는 간반에 초록파 간반에 초록파 돼봐야나 아니 제탑 샷사 버려.
And then so now you have you apply the antidote, and then you abandon the delusions, and you have achieved the path of release. And then now so now you finish. Then you come out of the meditative equipoise, right? You come out, then you are in the in the post-meditative equipoise or subsequent attainment. And just like you have cleaned the house, and it says okay, everything's good. Now you come out of the house. Now you are no longer inside the house, so you are no longer in the meditative equipoise.
제가 다 준 돈방 빠살 다 돈방을 내가 이 말 다 간바지 줬다마 소다다.
So you have cleaned the house, right? So you have cleaned the house, and now you left the house just like that. Now you have abandoned all the core delusions to be abandoned on the path of seeing, and then now you have no more core delusions to be abandoned.
다이나 간바 받쳐와데 다저 부고서 녀사 간바를 하데스 다 간바 녀가 사데 저들 하데래 다요 대녀야 잘라 녀고 줘 잘라 녀 다디 차나 제거로 왔어 대다 그 간바는 맞으면 줘 다디 몸 제거 대도 좀 봐라.
So now you have to go to the next room, maybe your kids' room, which needs much more cleaning to do, right? So then maybe you have to go buy more stuff to do cleanings. You have to go out, go to the store, buy more, soaps or more chemicals, to clean all those stains left by the kids, from their pizzas and ice creams and everything. And now, so now you have to go do the shopping. So just like that, you have to come out and into the post-meditative equipoise or the subsequent attainment, and then you do all the practices, of seven-limbs and so forth to accumulate more merit.
아니 그 변에 좀 봐도 좀 송알아서 봐야 가사가 담에는 냠바 샤월다 딱 콜레가 몸 체거래.
So you do a lot of practices, like the practice of the six perfections, like the practice of generosity, morality, and so forth, and then you do all this practice, to accumulate more merit, to be able to go back, to the path of meditation and abandon more delusions.
아니 그 가사가 담에는 냠바 샤쇼 인동란 냠바 샤쇼 그래.
So during that time, you can also meditate. So in the Mahayana path, your meditation is on emptiness, right? And so main object of meditation, is emptiness. But you can also meditate on selflessness. You can meditate on the non-duality, right? And all this, you can, when you do that meditation, that's going to be in the post-meditative equipoise. During the meditative equipoise, you'll be meditating only on emptiness.
Okay, now easy understand? You guys have some, oh yeah, like that. Okay, like that step. We are not really that, we just some step, right? 다 나도 노래 자주 찍라. 다 니디 그나 대전 돈을 냠자지도 제탑지 가나 많이 받아 가르쳐다. 대단한 하대요.
So now, there's the other one, we're talking about meditative equipoise, right? Meditative equipoise and the subsequent attainment and the neither of those two. So what is the neither of those two?
Okay, Bob. The idea?
I forgot. No.
It's okay. Okay, Deborah.
So it's not meditative equipoise, not subsequent attainment. So it would be the bodhicitta that is in one's mind.
Which month?
Just in your daily life.
No, which one? Which person then?
Oh, well, someone.
Yeah, you have to be careful on that. Who?
Someone who has gone through the path of release, or through liberated path.
그래서
그래서 남들람 사네.
근데 제답을
So that is subsequent attainment, right? So the main division of the path of seeing, there's the exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, exalted wisdom, and of the subsequent attainment, and the exalted wisdom that's neither of those two.
Well, the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment would be about the selflessness. This would be same renunciation in one's mind.
남의 다는 예정도 샤죠.
대간지 답신 말이.
So that can be subsequent attainment though.
Okay. Deborah or Jennifer, Margaret. Okay, Jennifer, yeah, try.
Would it be in impermanence in the continuum of the person on the uninterrupted path of the Mahayana path of seeing? So, or no, it would be non-manifest mind.
제토베 유기 가서 말사. 그냥 바제 멜람베 유기 아니 당 예정다 되는 샤셔서 다 가서 미타보토 싫어.
예, 됐대. 바제 말하면 냠잡에 티지지 안에 다음에 또 샤랍 막 티지지 연주다 아니 샤주고 샘도 샤주고 그래.
아니 가서 제토베 유기
제토베 안에 보이는 것도 몰라.
Yeah. So like Jennifer said, so it can be the renunciation, or it can be bodhicitta, or the realization of impermanence within the continuum of the Arya Bodhisattva on the uninterrupted path of the path of seeing. So that's not manifesting. So only mind that's manifesting there at that time is the wisdom realizing emptiness, right? So any other realization that are not manifesting is neither meditative equipoise nor the subsequent attainment, and also can be applied to the same. So during the subsequent attainment, the person have the realization of emptiness, in the direct realization of emptiness, but it's not manifesting. So during that time, you can say a direct realization of emptiness within the continuum of Arya Bodhisattva on the subsequent attainment.
Okay. Do you guys understand? Deborah, do you understand?
You're talking about the third division of meditative equipoise on path of seeing?
No, it's the division of third division of the path of seeing itself. The path of seeing itself has three main divisions, right?
Right.
The exalted wisdom of meditative equipoise, exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment, and exalted wisdom of neither of those two.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
제가 간다지라 돈요 도별로도 샹집 생기는 게 제고 말했어. 게 제고 말해.
So it has to be kind of manifesting, right? For it to be that. But when it's not manifesting, then it can be neither.
다 manifest 이미 제와 가리잖아요. 다 떼뇨로 되디요.
So now, how do you define whether it's manifesting or not?
그래서 시단 고녀 사월이다. 제가 가요 말 대신 때 고녀 사월이래.
So those are a little bit, confusion, complicated.
제가 배나 내가 제세와 배나 그리고 로디게 때 예드시나 가다 예드시와 가다디 때 예드시와 샤토나 네 제와세.
So when we say manifesting, so if it is manifesting to the mind and the person also is able to posit that as manifesting, then that's manifesting.
때 깔래 가운데 한테 따스한테 혀라 사워 열이나 따티 가네라 샤워서.
So it's a little bit complicated, and maybe a lot. It's very complicated, maybe, and so that's how you pause it. But again, you can still debate on that if it's, if it is still debatable.
난 도대체 저도 가파는 저도 동무도.
So like if you turn around, turn to your back. If you turn to your back, do you see me?
이나 저도 샘는 가샤기도 이걸 삼도.
But you can still have the image of me, right?
제가 때때 뇨라 이래서. 당연히 저다 저도 뭐 통화가라 난 통화다 따티 나 선배로 등은 제대로.
So, but when you're looking at me, then you see me. Your mind seeing me is manifesting.
다 팔로 들어서 게 비파도 비긴 통화되면서 저 잘로 잘라 그래 대 물에 샤대부터 되면서 난 선배로 등은 저거 말다. 저거면 랍고다.
So, but when you turn around, you see the object, where you are looking at, but doesn't mean that you don't know me. You can still think about me, but you're looking at other direction, and you see the object that is on that direction.
다 뇨로 사치했는데 아니 파 파카는 중아 또 그래 또 말잖아. 하 그거라 그거를 그러 왔어.
But turning on the other side, do you still see me? Or do you realize me or not? You do realize me. You just don't realize directly. So that's the complicated part, So do you say you realize or you say you don't realize?
자 티발다 뇨로 못 보여. 다들 방아도 로메.
So we can debate on that side, like that. So that's kind of complicated.
오케이. 이나 당아도 단다고서 받체만을 가릴래. 남자시 가릴래. 제답시 가릴 때 아까 하고 서
So now you understand what is meditative poise, right? And what is the subsequent attainment? What is neither of those two? What is an uninterrupted path? What is the path of release? All this you understand roughly, right?
제가 소소 컴바는 야한지 컴바는 제가 받체만을 차서 말아. 다 싸마서 내가 제도래. 근데 게다가 가디 차서는 곧 남나로 차야 되잖아. 저 컴바는 되대로.
So like you're going into a messy house, into a messy room, and then that's like first entering into the Mahayana path of seeing, and then when you first enter, that's the uninterrupted path, and now you're applying, you're cleaning, you're doing all the cleanings, doing the uninterrupted path. When you have done cleaning, when everything is clean, then it's a path of release. You're still inside the house.
네. 대충 남나로 차다. 다 남나로 차다. 그 싸마서서만 남나로 차서 말아.
So once you have cleaned, then you are part of release.
아니 되네 저다 가만 주 대면서 말아. 아니 고제 답 차서 말아.
And then when you have done cleaning and you come out of that room, and come out of that room, then you are on the subsequent attainment.
오케이. 다 틀어 제타 시들어.
So that's called the exalted wisdom of subsequent attainment.
다 제타비 지지배나 아니 제 돈이 또 별로도 남의 또 별로서 아니 냠자이시오 많이 제타비시 가는 많이.
And so the wisdom realizing emptiness or selflessness within the continuum of the Aya Bodhisattva on the subsequent attainment, is neither meditative poise nor subsequent attainment.
Okay, now we stop there. Otherwise, more confused.
Oh,
But you guys a little bit understand, right? I think Mark's already fall asleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have time for one more question, or do we have to go? That's it.
My question, yeah.
Okay. So if you reach that point where it's neither, so you've left the house, and then it's like, is it that the I doesn't exist? But then wisdom is there. There's emptiness and wisdom. But if there's nothing to hold the wisdom, it's sort of like circular, right? So if there's no I and there's emptiness but wisdom, so what is the vessel that holds wisdom?
Wisdom knows emptiness. Wisdom holds the emptiness.
Wisdom holds
Yeah,
emptiness.
wisdom knows emptiness.
Okay. And then is wisdom I?
What it means?
여러분 말해 보세요.
Ah,
여러분 말해 보세요.
쉐딩가 말이야.
나 매나 되네. 나 매나 실업수도 버렸어. 무슨.
나 요 말라고 하다. 나 요레스. 요타는 나도 사만하지 요 말이라고 하다.
It doesn't mean that when we say selflessness, doesn't mean there's no self at all. What it means is there's no self like it appears to us.
나도 얘네 야르다 나.
So the way we think about the self, that doesn't exist. The way we think the self is, that self doesn't exist. There is a self, but the real self, we're not able to see it. So the self that we see doesn't exist. But there is a self, just the self that we see doesn't exist. The self exists. So the self that exists holds the wisdom.
But do you see me?
Yes.
You just see my body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is my body see me?
I see. So really, you are maybe not your body.
You don't see me. You just
So you see when you see Geshe-la, you see Geshe-la's body, right? You see Geshe-la's body and you say, oh, that's Geshe-la. But Geshe-la's body is not Geshe-la.
I see.
He said Geshe-la's body. We don't say Geshe-la body. We don't say Geshe-la's body.
Yes.
Same as your cup. Your cup's not you. Therefore, 제대로 대치 버렸어. 나도 싸면 나지도 가 말라. 나 매와 야는 나 매와 차로 올라가 말다.
So you don't see Geshe-la, you only see Geshe-la's body.
So if I say Geshe-la has wisdom because you've achieved a level in the path, then I'm speaking not to you as I see you, but to the you that has reached a point of equipoise, exalted equipoise, or something like that, maybe.
You can see it that way. You can see it that way, but but you don't see the real Geshe-la. So when we see, unless you have realized selflessness or emptiness, you don't see the real Geshe-la.
Okay, now we stop there, talk about the complicated, okay? We just discussion something else. But even we can hear that again, put very good inputs. Yes, Bob?
Maybe a simpler question. So if you enter the uninterrupted path of seeing, what happens if your body dies before you finish the uninterrupted path? Does it remain uninterrupted?
그때 무튼이 되고요.
가디 셔도와 인바이나 다 셔와 하고 말이야. 가디 셔와나 야코 리 샴발라이로 이기나지 리사지. 나도 나지 제고 말이야. 가지 연습자 제고 말이야.
So once you have reached the path of seeing, where you have realized emptiness directly, and you enter into an uninterrupted path, and if you die, you'll be born again, with that understanding, with that path, in your mind. And so it will be more like taking a birth, intentionally, where you take intentional birth, and you will have a clear light body, and not like a regular body that we have. And so you will have, so at that level, you will have that, continuation of that realization.
가서 시와는 나도 시와는 시그마 나타는 시그마 말이지.
Consumption.
consumption 그 제와 시마 일레거든 용식으로.
So it will, when they die, if the person dies, like, it will be not like a regular death, like we die out of, karma and delusion, right? With the sickness and old age and so forth. Not like that, It will be like I said, intentional death.
제단 파바 나와다 개와다 희외동아 빠다 그랬어.
So the Arya beings are free from the sufferings of sickness, aging, and death.
Yeah, so if you die, if you enter the uninterrupted path, but die before the path of release, you remain in the uninterrupted path.
그죠?
바로 돌아맞게 가는
레벨 값을 공부 줘봐이나? 아니, 내가 남들로 막게 공부 줘봐이나? 내가 발심을 너무 쉬고라서.
뭐야 틀라고 야 틀리네 발심을 쉬고지 그래.
Yeah, he will come back again, and then it will be still in the 슈슈브라다는 거.
라.
양 슈슈브라 양 남모도 슈고마.
당사 맨날 쉬고지 말때 거기 드니 알레 주주기로.
Yeah, so you can come back again and then be enter into the uninterrupted path. You don't have to go from the starting again.
다들도지 배잖아. 그 오늘 대대 싸우지 마다 당도 최저로 상담을 해.
So that's kind of guessing. It's not clearly mentioned in the text.
배잖아. 그 전화 지조지 뭐 싫어 그랬더니 뒤를 따다래 되면 막 당도 미시 뒤가로도 그 미시 다시도 그 연로지 시작이 로겠다.
Because by definition, you have abandoned the suffering, of the aging, sickness, and death. So you assumed not going to die. But if you die, that's going to happen. And if you die, then you will go kind of like that. That's just like guessing.
Yeah, Jennifer.
So I was wondering about that, though. If the uninterrupted path is the actual antidote, then you would have to have the path of release, right? Because isn't that I think once Geshe explained the actual antidote is like turning on the light, the instant between the dark and the light. So wouldn't you necessarily have the path of release? Like you couldn't, if you got the uninterrupted path, you couldn't not have the path of release.
말아.
고맙다.
발제면함데 되네 발제면함 여봐도 된 남들은 요거랬어. 대마타도 남들은 요거랬어.
대마타도 말해.
너 가서 결혼 그만 셔야 시도지가 되는 결혼 록바로와당 록 수시동 계속 시에서 야 당도 야 님도 그네 된 록바로 마 님도 그네 되는 록시 되는 지고랬어. 발제면은 되네 샤송. 되지던 되네. 발제면은 때 건남들은 대마타 연구라서.
대마타도 맞다. 다 되게 냠제 되는 용어시겠다. 디바라다 발제면 디바라 헤리지 처음 말까지. 냠제 다 용거까지. 그 다라도 말아.
그래 바로 맞춰서.
대니 바르게 샤바 개게 처음 말다. 때때도 처음 말해. 그 냠제 뜨지지. 전화 지조 전부 이식이 즉 돌아 발제면하고 넘버라서 냠제 뜨지지. 다 디바라 좀 셔고 말해.
쉬어 말해.
다 희는 가 매워 차고 말다. 된. 다 힘에도라.
네.
다 때때는 셔고 말해.
네 시야 여마라.
대파이 대신 다 체크하고 있다.
예.
튼지들 된 건데 다 콜로야 파네 로마마세 파노 치바레고 로야 파 마도네바다 근데 제답쇼다 로마세에서 나오라 코틀레바서.
Yeah, so like I said, it's not you don't according to the text, right? You don't die, you don't die. But if you die, then what's going to happen? Then you'll be still there. So but doesn't mean that when you have uninterrupted path, you will immediately you will have in the path of release. Doesn't mean that, but in that session you will have it. So it will not be interrupted by any other paths. So that's what it's called uninterrupted. It will not be interrupted. So that's according to the Mahayana, right? So first, the last moment, of the path of preparation, the supramundane path, of the path of preparation, and then the uninterrupted path of the path of seeing, and the path of release of the path of seeing. Those are all in one session. Right? So that's like so you turn on the light, and then it all happens while the light is on, and then when you turn off, then it's off, right? So like that, so these three has to happen while the light is on. So if you turn off the light, then the session is broken, right? So it has to be one session. So that's why it's called uninterrupted.
I was asking about the idea of what the actual antidote means. When we say actual antidote, we mean that it. And also, there are some practitioners, they would instantaneously have all the forbearances and all the knowledges, right? So then you would instantaneously have the uninterrupted path and then the path of release for some people.
Instantaneously, the kechichila marada, kechichama chila marada, tuchila, kasa chichawa. So it's not talking about instantly, it's like simultaneously. In one session. One session can be very long. So the simultaneously means like all at the same time, but that same time can take long time, can take years and centuries, or even like in decades and centuries, so like that. But it all happens in one time. Then there's like the gradual, one after another. That's different, right? So that takes even maybe longer than that. So is that clear now?
Yeah, I understand now. Yeah, sort of.
Sort of.
Still, you are not very clear?
No, your answer, Geshe, was very clear. Yeah, I just don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is make sure this is not kazo. Ko tanyo kesha kamera was.
Le dang because when you think that they call up partner no when you're no nyambudra.
Jono chiyo chembo de tomba jana nyamba jana tomba nyungusu kadi tomba yana ko ane pachamala chaso mare. Ane ta pachamala ko lega chewra ta kaji pang gorba. Kaji ngazo lega no shinda ko na ko pachamala ko de gorba. Tati kase gorma ko ti pachamala ripa no muno kija yiros.
Tati the kaze no gorsigra.
Kaze no gorsigra.
Yeah, so like first you realize emptiness in the main reality, and then you keep on meditating, and then at the end of that path, you enter into the meditative equipoise, and then on that path, while being on that path, when you come to realize emptiness directly, and then at that time you have entered into the Mahana path of seeing, and then you have entered into the the uninterrupted path of the path of seeing at the same time, right? And then at that time, then you apply the antidote. The antidote is applied the actual antidote is applied at that time, and it may take long time. So it depends on how sharp is the knife. Like if the knife is very sharp, it can cut quickly. If it is not very sharp, then it will take long time to cut it. Yeah, so it depends on how fast you cut it. And so when you have cut it, then you achieve the path of release. So it doesn't have to be instantaneously. It can take long time during the path of uninterrupted path, and then you have to achieve the path of release. But so those has to be all in one session. The session can be very long or short, depending on how sharp you do the meditation. So you will not come out of the meditative equipoise at that time, and do something else. You will not do that. You will be on meditation.
Okay, Margaret, you have a question?
Yeah, thank you, Geshe. It sounds like from tonight, some of the discussion, by the time we enter, or when you enter the uninterrupted path of seeing, you're an Arya being already. Is that correct?
Yes. You are the Arya.
So it's not like people like us, have no hope, right?
Oh, no. We have hope. Yeah, of course. Why not?
Huh?
Of course.
Oh, is it?
Of course. 단단 감독에도 빼자면 감독 통화나 마루ங்கள 통화 잘안되네 요 선배나. 단 감독 빠나 다면도 돈년도 내시지 왔다는데도 인사래 삼네 대셔도 다 무스코 통화는 잘안 감독이 또나 다면에서 가지도나 퍼버차서 그래.
Yes, no, there is definitely hope, for us also, because now we realize the emptiness, right? Emptiness or the surplus in the manner of meaning generality. Just like I gave the example, of going to buy something from the store. So you have the idea of that object in your mind. That's realizing in the same as realizing in the manner of meaning generality. And then after that, you go to the store and you get inside there and you see the thing with your bare eyes. Then that time you're seeing it directly. So like that. So so now you realize emptiness in the manner of meaning generality, and then you keep on meditating on that, and then eventually you will come to realize it directly. So there is a hope, yes.
돈이도 담에다 야 미식 도고에 말다 대세 노멀도 마시. 돈에도 담에다 셈 이따 이식 미식 도고에 말대.
So the realization of emptiness, has to be with the mind, not with the eyes. It's not with the it has to be a mental consciousness.
Yeah, this is we all have to 가르간도 탐이jel라 산지를 요때 간도 간가를 해봐 요때.
So yeah, of course, depends on how long it's going to take, to get there, but we'll definitely get there because we all have Buddha nature, right? The potential to become a Buddha. So if you have a potential to become Buddha, then you will definitely get, to go through that path. So.
Well, it was sort of like Bob's question, like, I mean, if I, a mortal being, is fortunate enough to come close to that path, but then I'm mortal, right? I'm not Arya being, I will die. And so I have to reincarnate and come back again, hopefully as human. And then so then try to get back to this path again, right? I don't come back and born and be able to, reach that path again, or maybe is it like that? Or because there's one part you say Arya beings don't die, or they will. I think the high level, we're talking about some high level beings where they can choose, right? So, I mean, we know there are these high lamas who choose when they want to, whether they want to pass away or like.
Yeah.
Like that.
nganzo da shiwa na da khorang ki karse gan kyo lengora kyo lendenda lenyung gi la kyo lengora
yeah
tido de nganzo da kare shiwa de changma shigir bes ko la ba
어디 시금도 제로도 같아 가서 마치는 야 차다 장오래
ina da jang le lao ya so ba sha
거야 또박하는 토잖아 거 라이라이로.
So yeah, of course, in our case, when we die, and then when we come back, we'll forget most of it. We'll forget everything that we had learned now. When we come back as an ordinary person, if we're not an Arya yet, and then we die as an ordinary person, then we come back as an ordinary person. First it will be very, miracle. It will be a miracle to be born as a person again, human being again. And even if we did, we would have forgotten everything that we have learned. Anything. We'll not remember any of things that, the ordinary beings, right? So we're talking about ordinary beings. We'll not remember anything. But because we have, studied in this life and left some imprint on our mind, then in our next life, if we see it again, then it will be easier for us to learn because of the imprint that we left from the previous life, right? So it will be easy. That way, it's possible like that. Whereas for Arya beings, yes, of course, once you are Arya being, then you have abandoned the sufferings of aging, sickness, and death, and therefore you don't die by the power of karma and delusion. So there's no power of karma and delusion to cause you death, but you can die, for special reason, to benefit others, to show the path to others. You can die. You can show the death, to others, to show them about the death and impermanence, and then after that you can be born again. So you can show be born like that. But in that case, you will have all the knowledge retained in your mind, and then you continue from where you left before.
제가 바샤세 단단한 간도 내가 채워는 내가 가시 간도 내라고 하고 내가 가시 가세견 용무도 대 바샤 용무 채워래.
So like whether you have the imprint or not, like depends. Like some kind of things you can do it very easily, right? Some of the things you can't do it, no matter how much you try or how much you try to learn, you can't do it. So it's something that you can learn very easily and do it very easily. It's because you have imprint.
제가
You can't learn very easily and can't do easily is because you don't have imprint.
계산을 군두고 송소 배나 미카실라야 직가로 다 로종 걸 깔레카오 나라 때 레라고 쇼도스 내가 바샤야고 따르시 군두 카다나 송소.
So just recently, His Holiness also mentioned, this. He says for about some subject, the Dharma, some people find it very difficult, but he said he find it very easy, and that's because he thinks that he has a very strong imprint, of that object, of that subject.
제가 딱 정말서 딱 군두 딱 가서 내가 탐모만 되시나 아니 딱 군두에서 주시 봐잖아 딱 군두 쪽선박이 마부 자샤나 다는데 레라고 차대로.
And so, of course, His Holiness, in actuality, we say is the emanation of the Buddha, but in the relative world, he is the incarnation of the 13th Dalai Lama, right? So, because 13th Dalai Lama have studied a lot and left so much imprint in his mind, so now the 14th Dalai Lama is next life, and when he comes to look at the things, he learns them very easily because the 13th Dalai Lama has left, all these strong imprints, of the subject that he's learning now, which he learns very easily now.
제가 다 단단가도 미차다 다 단단가도 레야 보서나 이때 제와시마 양조라 밀리데로 요거です. 아니 다다다도 그래서.
So right now we're born as human beings. So if we use this human life, to do more Dharma practice, then there's a possibility that we can be born again as a human beings. And because we studied so hard in this life and practiced so hard, and all this imprint, will help in the next life, to understand even better and more next life, and then that way it becomes better and better, and then go higher and higher like that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. That's hope.
No, not just hope. We all have.
No, it's true. But yeah, thank you.
It's really we just hope, yeah. Because yeah, like that. It's good, yeah. It's possible. Everyone is possible. 가능 아주 샘 여와도 아무도 샘기 아주 간이 샘라 로종 야지 땅에 도와 대다 대여원자 아주 개회쇼 로종 야지 땅에 요래.
Yeah, because we have the potential. We have the potential, and we can develop our mind, right? Develop our mind. We can, enhance our mind, more and more towards the virtues. Therefore, it is. Therefore, we have a great potential.
담다 지나서 가래 마체다까지 콜리지 들이 열쳐서 삼아 열어왔어. 제가 콜리지를 지나서 콜리지가 로조도 찾아 열어와. 담보 보고 맞지 빼나 로추 정가 그게 신경 로페나 주주가라 다 신경 말어.
So you are all graduated, right, from college, and you have the knowledge of the college and all the education that you gained from the college. But you didn't have that knowledge, when you were just born, or even like up to 10, 11 years old, you didn't have all those knowledges. But gradually, you gained, studied, and then you gain these knowledges. And so if you study and practice, then yeah, you can gain the knowledge. You can gain the realization.
Okay. Hey Mark, are you there?
I'm here.
Good. Very, very glad. I thought you were just sleeping and you just put your phone there just sleeping.
That's why I don't have my picture on the screen. You can't see me.
Yeah, you're most the smart person. Okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know. It's really wonderful. We were all just discussing that. We just give some examples. You can just something to picture it. Okay, like that. Oh yeah, okay, like that. I know this is very complicated. It's not easy. Even I told you that the monks, nuns, they study monastery. Years, they just say again every year. Therefore it's not easy. You guys just study just 2 hours once a week. Not 2 hours. How many? You just maybe 1 hour. Maybe not 1 hour. Then it's one language difficult, terms difficult. It's not easy, but it's very great. We do like that. Secondly, I'm very bad for person to how to explain. And the problem is I didn't know your mind, then I don't know how true you want here. Then this is the problem. The one, do you know Tizigele? He said that, usually the Geshe doesn't know how to teach. It's really true, yeah. Because Geshe teach for, exactly the text say. just exactly, you know, because they learn to teach the monks in monastery. The monks, they already trained. They come to lay people, they don't really know how to brook. You know, they don't know really. Like you close your book, then you just cannot explain because you just learn that. Therefore, really, you cannot teach for the lay people exactly how the monks they study that. You have to a little bit feel, then explain. You know, too easily to give some example, some story. But I'm not like that skillful. Then that too, I'm not good also the how to teach it to monks. I'm not that knowledge. And secondly, I'm not knowledge for the how to teach for Western lay people. Therefore, you guys are poor guys. Okay, I'm just kidding. Okay, now we stop. Make a short dedication. It's 9 o'clock. What?
Saji Pakijik Shing Metok Tram Re Rabling Jing Ne De Gampadi Sange Jing Du Mekte Wagi Rokun Nam Dag Jing Lacher Parshuk Jetsun Name Kutse Rapten Jing Nam Katrin Le Chokyo Ge Padang Lo Samten Manger Sum Sausum Gi Droe Mun Sotak Tu Negyur Chik Idam Guru Ratna Mandalakam Niryatayami. In that snow mountain encircled land, source of every benefit and joy, may Lord Tenzin Gyatso Chenrezig remain in life till samsara's end. You who uphold the subduer's moral way, who serve as the bountiful bearer of all, sustaining, preserving, and spreading Manjunath's victorious doctrine, who masterfully accomplishes magnificent prayers honoring the three jewels, Savior of myself and others, your disciples, please, please live long. For this virtue, may I swiftly, having gained Guru Buddha's state, place each and every sentient being without exception in that state. Precious Supreme Bodhi Mind, may it where unborn arise and where born never decline, but increase forevermore. Mikmet se we te chen chen rezik, dream pe wang po jam pel yang, gang chen ke pe su gen song ka pa, lo sang drang pe jabla so va de.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful night.
Geshe-la. Thank you, Geshe-la.
Thank you,
Good sleep.
Geshe-la. Thank you, Namchala.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.